For having me this morning to come and speak briefly about the U.S. Department of Labor Wage and Hour Division. As she said, my name is Audrey Hall. I am the State Director for the U.S. Department of Labor Wage and Hour Division. What we do in my office is we make sure you get your overtime. We make sure you pay at least the minimum wage. We make sure that if you're being garnished, you're not being garnished excessively. The Polygraph Protection Act. That you work at a convenience store, they say you stole money, then they have to do certain things before they can give you a polygraph. So, Family Medical Leave Act, I heard somebody talk about that. We enforce that as well as child labor. You know, we've had so many child labor fatalities this year in Mississippi. We just had one in Bruce, Mississippi. He was working at a lumber company. He was on a forklift. His dad was driving a truck, and he was squeezed between the truck and the forklift. He was 17 years old. Had no business on that forklift.
Now you see that?
Position
17 on a forklift.
Then we had, I know you all heard about the Norjack poultry.
Oh yes, the 16-year-old.
Yeah, with a 16-year-old Guatemalan.
That was horrible.
Was in a
Marjack.
poultry factory in Hattiesburg. We found so many Mexican children, Guatemalans, in these poultry plants as
last night.
young as 14. Young as 14, and of course the poultry plant managers tell us, oh, we had no idea they were that young. But we see that a lot, and we've been very, very busy working in the poultry area in the state of Mississippi because we have all of these Latino children that are working underage. So if you see something, say something. I heard a lot from your panelists, you know, somebody said something about breaks. Because we do not have a State Department of Labor, and we probably will never get a State Department of Labor.
Isn't that something?
In the state of Mississippi, the minimum wage is $7.25.
That's sick.
We don't have an agency, a state agency that monitors it.
No.
We're the only game in
OSHA state
town.
plan.
We're in the federal building, and we're the only game
No
in
state
town.
plan. You have to go into
So
federal.
all the wage issues, all the things in the workforce that relates to wages and child labor, those type of things are handled through my office. Okay, so they do not have to give you a break. That was true. Whoever said that. In the state of Mississippi, they can work you 24 hours a day.
Without
as
a
long
lunch
as they
break.
pay you overtime at $7.25, there is nothing I can do about that. I know you know of states that have, like Florida, it's $15 an hour in Florida. I think it's about $15 or $16 in California.
Even
That's
Florida.
their minimum wage.
Even
But in the
Florida.
state of Mississippi,
They
it's
use
only
the federal.
$7.25. They do not have to give you a break.
Even
They
Florida
just work
has
you and work you and work you until you fall out. As long as they pay you at least $7.25, pay you time and a half for overtime.
If they don't
They
break the
are
law
within the
now.
law. I know a lot of people have the misconception that they have to pay you, they have to give you a break.
No, they don't.
Not say Mississippi, they do not have to give you a break. Another misconception is if I'm on salary, they don't have to pay me overtime. It depends on whether you're
depends on
an
the
exempt
job.
employee
Yes.
or whether you're a non-exempt
And
employee.
if
If
you-
you're a
if you
secretary and
supervise
they pay
people-
you a salary, you are not an exempt employee. You can't make any decision that would
That's
impact the
right.
company. You can't bind the company, any contractual agreements. They need to pay you overtime. They can put you on a salary, but they gotta pay you overtime. So just because you're on a salary does not mean you don't get overtime.
That's right.
So those are the things I wanted to say, because those are the things that we have coming through our office. Also, I've been with the agency now 37 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I started when I was 10. I was in the field as an investigator.
Child labor.
I was in the field as an investigator for 25 years. I've been in management for 12. So I've seen some of everything here in the state of Mississippi.
I know it.
And one of the most atrocious things, as attorney said, she was talking about the black farmers movement here in Mississippi, in the Mississippi Delta. Is where we have the most violations in the Mississippi Delta. It was so bad that former Secretary Marty Wash, we got the Secretary of Labor the first time
That's right, he came here
in
to meet with
history
us.
to come
Remember?
to the state of
Yes,
Mississippi.
that's right.
That's
Came
right,
here to
Secretary Marty
Greenville.
Wash.
That's right.
He was listening to the black workers, farm workers, tell him stories. He was moved to tears. I was sitting by him when they were saying they could not use the indoor plumbing. In 2022, he was here. 2022. But the South African workers could go and use the indoor plumbing to relieve themselves, but the black farmers that live
Could
in
not.
the Mississippi Delta had to go to the woods.
And those are the
relieve
whites who
themselves.
live in South Africa.
So those
We
are
call
the
them white
things that
South
we
Africans.
saw.
But they
And
had
so he
carte
promised
blanche
these workers
and
the 7,000
housing
that
accommodations and
privately.
everything. And black
He
people,
said,
so
it won't be next year, it won't be 5 years from now. As soon as I get back to DC, I'm gonna give Wage and Hour some money to do something about the just horrendous violations in the Mississippi Delta, and he did that. We had what's called Operation Delta Force. We had Wage and Hour investigators all over the country came to the Mississippi Delta to investigation of these farmers. And then we did it again the next year. And we did it just recently. We did Operation Delta Force number 3 just recently, in September of this year. So I said that to say, when we first did it in 22, 100% violation rate. 23, 100% violation rate.
Yep.
24, 100% violation rate. Most things that we
Criminals.
see,
They just don't stop them.
they're hiring South
They're criminals.
Africans because they tell me, Ms. Hall, we can't find any local workers to do these jobs. Now, you know that's not true.
You know it's not true.
If they would pay the local workers what they paid the South African workers, then we could find them.
White workers who live in South
And that's what we found in our investigation. They were not paying the local workers, who were usually black, African American workers. They were paying them less than the H-2A workers from South Africa.
who were
And
Europeans.
our local workers, y'all, were training the South African workers
Uh-oh.
through the H-2A program. And you can use the H-2A program when you say, in my local
It ain't nothing but an
area,
auction
we don't
block
have
program.
enough workers to do the job.
Yes,
That's when you have a lot of foreign teachers in school systems now, math teachers from the Philippines and all over the world. That's our H-2B program, and they're saying, we can't find math teachers, we can't find science teachers. So through the H-2B program, they can bring in all these foreign teachers. And H-2A is farm workers, H-2B is businesses. And so what we found, and then we got these workers back some money out of Operation Delta Force 1 and Operation Delta Force 2. We opened up 69 cases over 2 years in the Mississippi.
That's good. That's good.
We collected $659,266 to go back to 233 employees. So we're proud of that.
Yes.
And they paid it. And then we assessed these farmers $712,984 in civil money penalties because they violated the rights of the African American worker in the Mississippi Delta. We don't know if we'll be back next year because of change in administration, but we did get the last one in, and this year in September, and we still had 100% violation rate. And they don't like to see us coming. First thing they do is say they're gonna call Cindy Hyde Smith, and they're gonna call Roger Victor on us. But we still were able to put money back into the African American workers. Some of those were generational workers, have been there, fourth generation on that farm.
that was killed years ago.
And
on
the
the
farm
courthouse
owners
lawn.
were like, this guy worked for my granddad, and he worked for my dad, his son worked for my dad, and this just go down. Four generations, still on the farm, making less than what they should be making. So we will be back, hopefully, in the Mississippi Delta again during this season. And we started some cotton gins too, because there were found violations in the cotton gin.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm
We
shocked.
did that, and it was 100% violation rate. In some restaurants, we have too many young people working in these restaurants, losing fingers on the dough maker, and all these hazardous things. Burger King, McDonald's, all these people. If you see something, please say something. Please call my office. We're in the Federal Building in Jackson, 100 West Capitol Street on the 7th floor. It's room 725. And unless we have people complaining, we don't know what's going on all over the state of Mississippi. When I started in 1987 in Mississippi, we had offices in Columbus. We had offices in Greenville, Greenwood, Clarksdale, Tupelo, Hattiesburg, Columbus, and I said Columbus, and then on the Gulf Coast. Now we only have Gulfport, Hattiesburg, Jackson, and Tupelo.
Wow.
They cut all my offices out. And knowing that we are the low dog on the post when it comes to wages, they still reduce the offices in the state of Mississippi. So if you all want more offices, well, I need more investigators, right? Sydney Hyde Smith. Right. That's right, Roger Wilker.
Right.
An ally. He's been just right there in the trenches with us. You have to let your local, national legislators know we need more help in the Mississippi Delta, wherever you live, because unless you all say something, it's gonna be business as usual. And since we're one of the few states that does not have a State Department of Labor, we're the only gang in town. So I need more investigators to get out in the field, get in the trenches to help vulnerable workers in the state of Mississippi. Again, please call my office. If you see something, say something, and let us know what's going on in the field, please. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's give her another hand.
Yes.
All right.